We come to our first reading, which John Hilson will read for us, from Mark 8:31-38. Now, you probably know that Mark's gospel is about the nearest thing we get to a report of Christ's life. The gospel is jam-packed with teaching, parables, and miracles from the beginning to the end. And I suspect even then, not even half the events were captured. Our reading comes from chapter 8, which itself has 2 miracles, a warning, a couple of prophecies, and some dynamic teaching. It has more drama in that one chapter than EastEnders has in a whole week. We read this morning one of the prophecies where Jesus foretells of his death. Now, as you listen to John reading this, try to put yourself in the shoes of the disciples, hearing what was for them the first time of this terrible news. So let's listen to Mark 8:31-38.
Jesus predicts his death. Jesus predicts his death. He then began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected by the elders, the chief priests, and the teachers of the law, and that he must be killed, and after 3 days rise again. He spoke plainly about this, and Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. But when Jesus turned and looked at his disciples, he rebuked Peter. "Get behind me, Satan," he said. "You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." The way of the cross, the way of the cross. He then called the crowd to him along with his disciples and said, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? What can anyone give in exchange for their soul? If anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them when he comes in his Father's glory with the holy angels." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.